Welcome to the Legends of Sinister Urban Tales channel, where we delve into the shadows of the unknown and unearth stories that will send chills down your spine. Today, prepare for a journey beyond imagination. There are places where time seems to have stood still, where the fog isn't just water vapor, but a thick veil separating our world from another, darker one. Places where the campfire stories aren't just meant to scare children, they're warnings. And today, we're going to delve into one of those places, a small village on the Hudson River in the United States called Sleepy Hollow, a name that, in itself, carries the whisper of a dream or a nightmare. Because in Sleepy Hollow, the legend isn't just a story, it's a promise. The promise of an encounter with the most terrifying creature you could imagine, the Headless Horseman. To understand the horror, we need to go back in time. We are in the late 18th century, during the American Revolutionary War. Among the German mercenary soldiers, the Hessians, who fought for the British side, there was a man of colossal stature, a man known only for his unparalleled ferocity on the battlefield. They say he felt neither fear nor pity. His only joy was carnage. But in a decisive battle, his fate was brutally sealed. A cannon shot, or perhaps a sharp sword, severed his head clean from his shoulders. He was hastily buried in the small cemetery of Sleepy Hollow. But death was not the end for him. His rage, his desire for violence was so strong that it bound him to this world. His soul did not rest, and every night he rises from his grave. Mounted on a horse as black as night, he rides in search of what was taken from him, in search of a head to replace his own. The legend came to life through the pen of writer Washington Irving in 1820. In the story, we're introduced to Ichabod Crane, a superstitious and gangly schoolteacher who moves to Sleepy Hollow. He becomes interested in Katrina Van Tassel, the region's most sought-after heiress, and ends up attracting the ire of her other suitor, the bully Brom Bones. At a party at the Van Tassel mansion, Brom tells the story of the Headless Horseman, mocking Ichabod's fears. But the joke ends when, on the way home, Ichabod must cross the forest alone, on the darkest night of the year. And it is here, my friends, that Irving's story becomes a living nightmare. Ichabod, riding his weary horse, begins to hear a sound that is not the wind. It is the steady, heavy rhythm of hooves, but not of an ordinary horse. It is a hollow sound. He looks back, and there it is, the silhouette of a giant atop a warhorse, holding the reins in one hand, and in the other, a sharp blade gleaming under the moon. But where his head should be, there is only emptiness, a terrifying nothingness. What follows is a hunt, a desperate chase across Headless Horseman's Bridge, the place where the spectre is said to disappear at dawn. Ichabod spurs his horse, but the horseman is always there, ever closer. He feels the black horse's hot breath on his neck. He hears the blades hiss. The next day, all they find is Ichabod Crane's hat, and beside the bridge, a crushed pumpkin. Ichabod is gone forever. Did he escape and start a new life? Or did the Headless Horseman finally get what he wanted? And that's where things get really interesting, because many believe Washington Irving's story was based on true accounts. To this day, Sleepy Hollow residents and visitors swear they've witnessed the spectre. Reports from nightwalkers speak of a sudden chill, the sound of hooves appearing out of nowhere. Drivers on deserted roads near the village tell of a figure on horseback that appears in the middle of the road and then disappears. And most frighteningly, some say the horseman no longer hunts just for a head. He hunts for fun. That his curse has expanded, and he now stalks any unfortunate soul who dares to challenge the darkness. What if the legend is real? What if the horseman isn't trapped in Sleepy Hollow? What if he's an entity that feeds on our fear and can manifest in any dark and lonely place? The legend of the Headless Horseman remains alive because it touches on one of our most primal fears, the fear of the unknown that haunts us. the sound of footsteps behind you on the dark street. The feeling of not being alone when you know you are. Have you ever felt something like this? Do you know someone who has had a mysterious experience on a deserted road? An encounter that can't be explained? Is the Headless Horseman just a legend or a real threat that still lurks in the shadows? If this video made you look back with a little fear, leave a like. It really helps the channel. And I'd love to hear your opinion. Do you believe the legend? Comment below, beware of the bridge, if you wouldn't travel to Sleepy Hollow for anything in the world. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss our next delves into the unknown. Because in urban legends, not everything is just imagination. Don't forget to answer the poll in the comments and in the community.